Hi everyone, I've been asked to speak for Motivational Monday, and so thanks for chiming in and listening to my spiel. One of the most important things, I think, in keeping oneself motivated is health. Health is wealth, and just help motivate you guys in the last few weeks of school here in our final stretch. But surely these are things that I practice on a daily basis, and perhaps you can consider applying in your lives hereafter. So for me, what motivates me is just keeping my health on par. And so I look at health in three ways, and that's mind, body, and soul. So those are the three things that I'll talk about today. Our mental state is important, especially with the coronavirus right now, constantly checking in and seeing how our mental energy is. I'll call it mental energy. Maybe another way you can look at it is mental fortitude. So mental fortitude is just our ability to focus and concentrate in times of adversity. And in what way is our mental state in approaching those adversities? Another way you can look at it is like your mental attitude. So are you willing to push through any adversity, or do you get bogged down by all of the problems? And solution oriented or problem oriented? Whenever you have a problem, whether that be mental, physical, emotional, it's always good to focus on the solution. And that's also with schoolwork or any interpersonal relationship with your friends, your family, and your teachers. Another thing that might help is positive affirmations. They're also known as mantras in Hinduism and Buddhism, and these are sort of like repetitions of words or phrases that helps you meditate. If you're not a meditator, maybe you can think of it as just focusing, because that's what meditation is. It's just focusing on one thing at any given time. So mantras help your mind focus, and they're just a repetition of words or phrases. So I like to integrate positive affirmations as mantras. If I find that my mind is scattered and I get stressed and overwhelmed, I start repeating certain words. So a simple one, for example, or one of my favorite ones, is from Paramahansa Yogananda. It's the affirmation for psychological success, and it's quite long, so I'll just read the first few words of the entire thing. I am brave, I am strong. Perfume of success thoughts blows in me, blows in me. I am sweet, I am kind. And it goes on. And you can see how it's quite poetic in nature, and if that doesn't speak to you, you can make up your own mantra. You can think of something that you need for the day. For instance, if you need to be happy because you feel down, if you just repeat, I am happy, I am happy. Another one by Yogananda that you can use. It's one of my favorites, and there's like body movements that you can match with it, and it helps lift the energy. So you bring your arms like this, and you say, I'm positive, energetic, and enthusiastic. And of course, you hear me right now, my voice is monotone, but ideally you're standing on your feet, and you really feel the words, and you feel into your body, and you try to focus, and you say, I'm positive, energetic, and enthusiastic. And you'll see that you'll have a shift in mood. So that's another thing that helps with your mental state. And something I practice also is a gratitude journal. A gratitude journal is just a journal in which you write things you're grateful for. And if you focus on just one thing every day, it could be small things, it could be big things. You can write short entries, you can write long entries. They really help shift your mood, because we do have a lot to be grateful for. And when we get overwhelmed with everything that's going on, we have to remember what we have. Something as simple as having our fingers and having our legs to walk. There's certainly people in this world that don't have those things, and we have shelter, we have safety, a lot of things that we take for granted. So once you start listing all of the things that you're grateful for, you can find that they motivate you to keep plunging forward. The second thing is body. That's the more obvious one with health, probably the one in Western medicine that seems to be addressed mostly. Exercise is important, so I'm sure you've heard that from all of your teachers and parents, to make sure you get exercise, get off the desk. That also motivates me because I feel very lethargic when I'm sitting in the same place all day. So getting up, moving, I take walks, I do a lot of yoga and stretching, and that's also open because I find that it opens up my body, and then I can breathe better, which I'll get into it in a moment. I'll show you some chair yoga poses that are very easy to do while you're at your desk, and they help keep me motivated too. Diet, eat healthy. I'm not going to get into that in detail, but diet's important, and those of you who have me as a teacher know that I talk about our relationship to the planet and animals and how it relates to our diet. But for the sake of time today, I'll just say 2 things you can remember. Eat whole foods, and if there are more than 6 ingredients on a package which you can't pronounce, you probably shouldn't eat it because it's not food, it's chemicals. So just eat better, you'll feel better, it'll motivate you to feel better, you'll just function better. Lastly is the soul, and without getting too esoteric, I'll define the soul as just your connection to yourself and possibly a connection to something greater, that space and time when you feel connected to something you can't say in words. Like it could be if you're in a state of love, or if you feel very peaceful. Have you ever been with your friends where you feel happy, like such a certain sense of contentment? You can cultivate that on your own. There's nothing outside of yourself that you can't give yourself. In fact, the goal, I think, and one of the goals in life is to be able to be happy within oneself without the external factors. So there are a few things you could do to connect to those sensations, and that's just breathing. Breathing helps the mind focus. Breathing helps bring perspective into your life. So there's a number of breathing exercises. One is just deep belly breathing. So inhaling and really trying to breathe slowly and filling your stomach, and just a slow, deep breath, and then exhaling as slow as you can. And sometimes it helps to count as you breathe, because again, our mind isn't always connected with our body, so the goal is to bring those in line with one another, and you'll find within a few moments of doing that you're just connected within yourself. And so again, just for the sake of not getting too esoteric and woo-woo, that's how you can connect to your soul. One thing that's important in these times of adversity and challenge, where we're kind of shifting our paradigm of living, is just being conscious and aware of how you are, because that's the only thing we can control. I know maybe some of you might argue with that, especially because you're teenagers, and you might say, well, my parents are there, my teacher's there, I don't really have control of anything, I have to do this and I have to do that and I have this work. And I could argue the same thing. I'm an adult, but I go to work, I have relationships that sometimes challenge me, but I still have to face them. And I have things in my life that I'm constantly having to tackle, also within myself. But the only thing we can change is our reaction to things. We can't control other people. We can't control our parents. I know those of you who have me as teachers, I've told my stories about my mom too. I have the same thing. So things with parents, teachers, co-workers, our whole lives will be faced with these sorts of things, and they only make us stronger. Try to think of challenges in life as opportunities. That's how I live life, is I look at every instant in my life as a teacher. What am I supposed to learn in this moment? What am I supposed to learn from this person? And I think if you go through life as like with an open mind like that, and with an open heart and willing to learn, you'll find that life is just a lot more pleasant. So just be aware of your mind, body, soul, and do what you can. Take control, take charge of your life, live your best life, because you're the only one that will be able to do that for yourself. This is my topic of passion, health, and wellness, and mindfulness, and spiritual practices. So if you'd like to know more, I'd be more than happy to give you some more tips. I could, show you some affirmations. Feel free to email me at christina.f@wells. Stay motivated. It's all in your mind. It's all in your body and heart. So be the change you wish to see in the world. Thanks for listening, and hope you enjoy the chair yoga poses.